In this video, you will learn how to install a drywall perimeter border for a drop ceiling. This type of installation only requires full-size tiles and eliminates the need to cut tiles at the border. Stop the video here to review the hardware and tools you'll need for this installation. This drywall border installation can be installed on Armstrong Prelude or Prelude FireGuard grid systems, and with 2-foot by 2-foot Armstrong ceiling panels. The drywall border itself can never be wider than 2 feet. To begin, you'll need to properly plan for your drop ceiling installation. The main purpose of the plan is to lay out the drop ceiling with full panels in the middle, surrounded by a drywall border that is no more than 2 feet wide, making sure that the whole installation is balanced and centered. Use our ceiling layout tool, available on our website, to plan your project. Please use the installation instructions, which are also found on our website, to install your drop ceiling. You'll need to install your wall molding, main beams, and cross tees per the instructions. Make sure that the grid is square and level. When installing a drywall border, all grid should be connected to the wall molding with either pop rivets or panhead screws. This will keep the grid stable while you are installing the drywall border. Additional hanging hardware is needed to support the drywall for new and existing installations. Each border cross tee will require hanging hardware. Once the grid is installed and secured to the wall molding, the next step is to install the main beam attachment clip, or MBAC, and the drywall attachment clip, DWAC. MBAC will be installed on grid that runs perpendicular to the wall. Multiple MBACs can be used for added attachment points as shown. DWAC will be installed on grid along the border of the drywall that runs parallel to the wall. The single flange should be facing the wall. Simply snap these clips over the top of the grid and attach with a single screw. With the brackets installed, the next step is to begin hanging drywall. Measure the distance from the wall side edge of the grid to the wall at each of the grid intersections as shown. Cut the drywall to size. It should be wide enough to just cover the edge of the grid parallel to the wall. Always use 5/8 of an inch drywall, since it may span as much as 2 feet. Lift the drywall into place and screw it directly into the wall molding every 6 to 8 inches and into all MBAC hardware. Use type S 1¼ inch drywall screws. At this point, don't fasten to the DWAC hardware or grid running parallel to the wall. A casing bead will be installed along this edge. Where one piece of drywall meets another, the joint of the two must be supported from behind. It is unlikely that the joint will occur at a grid component, so it should be supported with a wood furring strip. Just overlap the joint and fasten with screws or construction adhesive to keep the joint stable and ensure a smooth fit. Once all the drywall is in place, finish the interior edge by installing either an L bead or J casing bead. This item can be found at most building material stores. Measure and cut the bead to fit where the perimeter drywall border meets the grid at the edge of the ceiling panels. Place the casing bead over the exposed edge of the drywall and shift it into place so that it overlaps the grid by at least 1/16 of an inch to avoid seeing gaps. Screw the drywall through the casing bead at all the cross tee and main beam intersections and in the middle at the DWAC hardware. When the drywall is in place and secure, and the exposed edges have been capped, finish the job by taping the joints and corners, and then spackle and sand using standard drywall finishing techniques. We recommend covering the grid system with painter's tape before painting the perimeter border. You may wish to run a bead of caulking to fill any gaps between the grid and the casing bead. With all of the drywall finishing completed, the full-size ceiling tiles can be installed. For additional installation support, contact our Tech Line team with questions.
Before you go, don't forget to hit the like button if you learned something new about ceilings. Got comments and questions? Add them below and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more.